Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to your Thursday night episode of Unscripted, live on Facebook at Unscripted. We're also live on the All Sports, All Plays Network on their Facebook and YouTube channel. So please go over and check out all of their amazing, great content. I am your host tonight, Logan Landers, and joining me first is the guy with the hottest takes recently about the Cowboys and about pretty much everything. Jay McLovin, what's going on, bro?
Hey, we're doing well. As you can see, we are one analyst shy. And for those of you that don't know, me and Frankie C had a bet on the Notre Dame-Oklahoma State Cowboys game. I took Oklahoma State, obviously. Frankie said Notre Dame was going to win. And there was a bet that ensued. And that bet was basically either I had to wear a Patriots support shirt or he had to wear a Cowboys support shirt. And as you know, since the Oklahoma State Cowboys won, that means I won the bet. That means Frankie C was supposed to be wearing a Cowboys Rocks shirt. But as you can see, he's running. Logan, he's running.
And speaking of the devil, look who just popped up with no picture. It's Frankie C. He said he was in his car, so.
Do you hear me?
Here he is.
Yeah, I like it. I like how you show up, Frankie, with no shirt on like you're supposed to.
No picture either, man. We can't even see that beautiful
shirt, no nothing.
Oh,
I'm a man of my. Hey, look, I'm driving, but here, I'm doing it for you. I got it on.
Hey!
That is.
That's my boy.
I'm a man of my word. I lost the bet, man. Notre Dame lost by 2, but I got to do what I got to do, man.
Hey, Frankie, I take back every bad thing I said about you.
I'm going to say, we're wiping things clean in 2022 here on the show. What a moment in history that is, guys. Wow.
Yeah, I never, hey, listen, you don't understand. For Frankie to put anything on his chest that says Cowboys on it, that's in a positive light, yeah, you making history today, baby. You making history.
All right. And also, Jay, I know the next presidential election isn't for another 2 more years, but we have Dustin Reese saying that Jay for president.
Hey, and let me tell you something. That means a lot. That means a lot. If for those of you that don't know, Dustin Reese is a very, very smart individual. This man, like he said, he can quote stats. I swear to God, he can quote stats all the way to 1926. I wasn't even born in 1926, Logan, but the man can quote the stats.
You're right, Jay. You were born in 1927.
Legitimately, he can tell you anything you want to know. The man is like a personal Google. But I love Dustin, man. Hey, he's sharp as attack. Sharp as attack.
All right, well, guys, let's get things going. Be sure if you enjoy the video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out our Facebook if you want to come join the show. Just click on the link, allow your audio, allow your video, and come and talk some sports with us. But let's get it going with our first topic tonight, the first ever Week 18 NFL preview. All right, Jay, kick things off.
Yeah, honestly, hey, listen, this is a big, big week. And Logan, you know this because your team is trying to buy the hat.
I got the hat tonight. It's a big week.
Hey, and I don't know, Logan. Hey, let me ask you this. I hope that's not a bad thing that you're wearing that hat.
Nah,
I'm a superstitious kind of guy, Logan. I don't know about you, but I'm superstitious. And I try not to wear the jerseys before it happens. I feel like sometimes, it can go either way. But hey, if they win when you wear the hat, wear the damn hat. But hey, you got to go up against Las Vegas. You got to go up against the Chargers. And the Chargers they're playing right behind Herbert. And we'll talk about Herbert a little bit later on in the show, but that's a very good team right now. I think they're, I still don't believe they're going to be, Super Bowl bound.
Right.
But but they can play spoiler. The Chargers could definitely play a spoiler, type of thing. And I really don't want to. I mean, the Cowboys beat them. It was a rough game. It was a very close-knit game. Herbert's a good player. And I tell you, man, hey, the Raiders are going to have their hands cut out for them, Logan. They're going to have their hands cut out for them. How do you feel about this game going into it, knowing that you're vying for a playoff spot?
Well, Jay, we're getting our secret weapon back. He's been hurt recently, and that's by the name, the tight end, Darren Waller. He's been out recently. Carr's been missing him, and what a time to come back, right? Last week of the season, a chance to get into the wild card game, and I think everything's looking good. It's going to be a home game also, right? I saw that they're going to have the family of John Madden lighting the preliminary torch before the game they do at Allegiant Stadium. So the crowd's going to be amped up. The players going to be amped up. The coaches, the player, everyone on that team is going to want to go out there and really have a good night. Dustin's chiming in saying, if the Colts lose, the Chargers and Raiders can tie and both get in. Let's have that happen. That would be insanity. But I don't know, man. A tie, that's only – we had, I think, one tie this year. With the Lions. But, I mean, that's asking for something, though. But first, it's the first week 18 in history. Who knows? We might get some fireworks like that. That would be interesting. But
could Jacksonville actually play spoiler?
Yeah.
Could they play spoiler to the Colts? I mean,
they ain't got nothing to lose. I mean, they've had a horrible season. Their number one draft pick sucked. They fired their head coach. They ain't got nothing.
Right, exactly. My personal game, I tell you, Logan, Dallas has to play. Dallas has to play the Eagles this week, and it's not unforeseen thing that the Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys could meet, in the wild card round.
That's a good strategy to Dustin.
They can literally kneel on every play.
If I'm a fan, I'm throwing all the trash I can find at that point.
No, but seriously, think about that. So could we be seeing the wild card round? And I personally think the Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Eagles. I'm not too overly concerned about the Eagles. I don't want to overlook them, but I'm not
don't want to underlook them either. I get what you mean.
And I honestly would rather play the Eagles to get into the playoffs. I think it's easier for the Cowboys to go to the Eagles to get into the playoffs. But on a more personal note, I want to see the Cowboys go against the Cardinals. Just because I like this, I want to play the best going into
that. That'd be a good matchup.
I want a revenge game.
Understandable. And, of course, Frankie, I mean, it's week 18 for you, man. Who you got coming up? You got the Dolphins.
Yeah, we got the Dolphins. I'm not going to say easy matchup because every time we go up against the Dolphins, it's in Miami. It's a tough matchup every time in Miami. But that was when Tom Brady was under center. And now we got Mac Jones, so – hopefully we get a little different light past the tunnel in Miami and we can start getting some wins over there. But I'm not really worried about the win or the loss. We already clinched our playoff spot. This win just basically puts us in our seedings. It can change us or it can move us up. Obviously, as a New England Patriot fan, I really want the Jets to win against the Bills this weekend, but that's been as well.
That's all.
I don't want that. I got them in a fantasy league. Bills are my defense. Frankie, don't speak that into existence.
I'm about to say we gotta have Jay win the fantasy league, man.
Hey, and I say that because Frankie brings up a good point.
Yeah.
The Jets played the Packers pretty. Was it Packers or was
no? They played the Bucks. They almost beat the Bucks.
They played the Buccaneers
last week.
They played the Buccaneers really, really well.
They should have beat them.
It's not unforeseen to say that the Jets could pull up an upset. It's really not. If they play, I mean, at any given day, right?
Yeah, you may not wrong in our comment. Go ahead, Frankie.
What I was going to say is the difference in this week's game with the Jets and Bills is that the Bills are going to start every starter because they're fighting for the AFC East just like we are. The division title is still in the air. Now, if the Bills were to be champions already, as it was supposed to be predicted, the Bills are supposed to obviously win the AFC East by now, but they haven't because, the Patriots are back where we belong. But if they were to already be the champions, they will sit down every starter, and I will give this game to the Jets because, like with the Jaguars, they got nothing else to lose, So they're going to play their starters, and the Bills will sit theirs. But because the AFC East title is on the line, they will start all their starters. Nobody's getting around.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let me bring up something real quick. So you guys are going against Miami. I'm going to bring up just real quick, if I may. Miami's they got eliminated from the playoffs, unfortunately.
Right. They had a good record.
But they had a good record. They had 8-8. I mean, it's okay. They broke 500 at 8-8. So I really think Miami is just a few pieces away from truly being, a Super Bowl contender. I'll give you a point. They are $75 million in cap space.
Mm-hmm. We'll
$75 million. So who do you think they could go after right now to really change the whole world around? Aaron Rodgers, maybe tag on Devontae Adams. They got the money to bring them both in. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine Parker, Waddle,
Parker and Adams? Ooh.
Adams? That's
that
three
nice.
right there. And and you got a pretty decent run game. And then you bring in Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. And then also, we got a good point here from Dustin saying Miami's won 4 of the last 5 against New England at home. So
I'm just saying right now, Miami has the cap room, and I really believe if they are big players in the free agency, that team could very well be the number one team in the AFC come next year if they make the right move with that cap room. I'm telling you, that team could be deadly.
We saw last year, Jay, the Bills take that next step, right? And we thought it was going to be more sustained this year, how they won the AFC East, how the Patriots struggled. This year, the Pats took it back. They look good, and now they're fighting for that AFC East spot right now. So we'll see who can come out on top overall. But I think that Miami, give them maybe next year they can start competing a little bit more. I'll give them a winning record next year, but I think in 2023, that's when we're really going to be able to maybe see the Dolphins vying for that AFC East title because they have Tua's looking good. Like you mentioned, they have a good core. They've got to draft well, build around. At least they got some money to play with. We'll get to that in a little bit later, so they can bring in some free agents. But let's do some quick just predictions. Just say whatever team you think is going to win these games. We have the Chiefs and the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I definitely got Chiefs as well. I will say about this: the Broncos can play spoiler with Bridgewater. Mm-hmm. They've done it before,
right?
With Bridgewater, they've done it before. But I'm going to go with Chiefs in this one.
All right, got a good point. The Bengals and the Browns. Bengals already locked up the spot. We're going to get on some guys who are not going to be playing for them a little bit later. But you think the Bengals are going to pull it out with some backups in, or will the Browns get the win in this one? Because it's kind of a.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, man. Hey, given Burrows out and Mixon's out, I'm definitely going Browns on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Browns, even though
I'm definitely going Browns.
There, you can give it to Chubb, and he can do whatever he wants to do. All right, Packers and Lions. Is this the Packers? Come on.
Yeah,
I'm not even going in depth about that.
Yeah, that's a gimme.
Bears and Vikings. It's another throwaway game. Both these teams are out of the playoffs. I'll go with.
But it could be very, very interesting though, because they both have roughly, they both have couple records, but they play each other well.
They both got coaches who are about to get probably fired the way it's looking. So.
Oh yeah, and so they're gonna. I think it's gonna be a good shootout game because they're like you said. I think it's a pride game because it's a divisional game. But like you said, it's also two coaches who are on the hot seat.
I think Justin Fields has COVID, so I don't think he's going to be able to play this week. So
really?
I think so. I'm not quote me on that in the comments, but I think I saw where he has COVID. So if Kirk Cousins is playing, I'll give it to the Vikings. If not, then. If Fields is playing, then I'll give it to the Bears. The Washington no names, and this will be the last. Jay, this will be the last joke we can make because in February this is
they're going to actually have a name now.
They're going to have a name. So this is the final game for the Washington football team mantra. What a good 2-year run they had. Last year was good. They got to the wild card almost, and this year they just sucked.
And I'm going on record that I believe it's going to be Washington Red Tails. I really think Red Tails is going to prevail in that team name.
There's a few of them that's been thrown out there, like War Pigs, Hogs, like all of them are kind of. I mean, they're not the greatest. Let's just be honest here. They're not the best names, but it's better than just being called a football team. So it is what it is.
But the Giants are going to lose that. The Giants are just horrible right now. Hot trash.
I saw something, Jay. I think it was since 2015 or 16. The Giants have not had a 500 record since then. Like I'm talking 1-0. They haven't even been above 500. That's how crappy they've been in recent years. That's
the state of New York is really hurt. And the sad thing is there's a lawsuit right now. There's actually a lawsuit against the Giants and the Jets because they play in Jersey.
And they're billed as New York teams. That guy ain't gonna win that, but I mean, hey, props for why not, right?
I'm all for it though. I've never understood why you play in New Jersey and you call yourself the damn Jets, or you call yourself the Giants, New York Giants. I don't understand that.
All right, Colts and Jaguars. I'm gonna go with the Colts in this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Colts, but I still think that they could pull a spoiler, but I'm going Colts. I mean, how do you not go against the? I'm not gonna go against the Colts on that one.
All right, we have the Ravens and the Steelers in Ben Roethlisberger's final game.
But I'm going Ravens.
Yeah, they're in Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't know though, man. I'll tell you this: the Steelers' defense is playing well, and Ben doesn't have to be a superstar to win a game.
Nah.
That defense is playing pretty damn good right now.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely holding their own. Harris has done pretty good. He's ran for over 1,000 yards this season on about 300 carries, got a couple of touchdowns. So that's proven, right? Because that was the big knock on them last year is Ben is, he was going down in his talent-wise. James Conner just didn't do nothing. So Harris has been a good pickup for them. But is Lamar playing? If Lamar's playing, I'll give it to the Ravens because why not?
I haven't heard anything about him not playing.
Yeah, I heard anything. Let me check real quick here on Google. It said he did not practice, but it looks like they might still be hopeful for him to play. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't throw him in there. What's the point?
The Ravens are actually eliminated, correct?
I believe so, yes. They're 8-8, so I don't think
if it's me, I'm not playing Lamar.
There ain't no point.
I'm not going to play Lamar in a game that truly, doesn't benefit me when I've got my franchise quarterback hurting. Yeah, so I'm going to rest him and just be like, hey, we'll come back next year with him.
Yeah, Baltimore's a 5-point favorite in that, so I think they'll get the way. Titans and Texans, I got the Titans pretty easy. Texans are they're just a team, so I'm gonna go with the Titans. Plus, Derrick Henry's coming back. We'll get on that in a little bit. So
and here's a deal. Oh, we need to talk more about Derrick Henry. I think there's a topic in there, right?
Yep, we'll get to it.
Yeah, so we'll leave that alone. But yeah, I'm going with Titans as well over the Texans.
All right. Saints and Falcons, a tough one. I talked about another show. I got the Saints winning by 3. I think 17-14 is my final score.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Saints. I just think their defense is going to keep them in the game.
Defense is too good.
I think that their run game will prevail. You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to go different. I'm going to go different, man. Okay. I'm going to go Falcons in this one. I'm going to go Falcons.
Both the offenses
because of Cordell Patterson and Pitts. I think are going to have a good game. Mm-hmm. It's in Atlanta, and Atlanta wants to end on a good note, so I think they go all out. I'm going Falcons on that, but I think it's going to be a close game. By far, I think it's going to be a good defensive game.
Whenever these two teams play each other, it's always a good matchup. Pretty much, they hate each other in the NFC East. So,
absolutely.
In the South. So I that's why I give it to the Saints just because their defense is just a little bit better. The offense, I mean, they're both kind of even. I'd give the slight advantage to the Falcons for offense. But
and the Saints have not been eliminated as of yet, right?
No, they are still in the.
The Saints and the 49ers are both still vying for that last spot, right?
Yes, the Saints need to win. And I think the 49ers need to lose, if I'm not mistaken, in order for the Saints to get into that wild card spot. So that's going on. Okay,
I'm gonna switch mine. I'm gonna go back to the Saints. I'm gonna go back to the Saints for the mere fact that I think we'll go all out trying to get that last spot. So they're not giving up anything. They're not taking anything off, and I think they're gonna fight harder for it. So I am gonna stay with the Saints just because of the perspective that they're fighting for that last playoff spot, and I don't think that they're just gonna give up easily to Atlanta.
Yeah, I give it to the Saints close. Both the offenses aren't anything too crazy, but I give it to the Saints because their defense is too good. It's a lot better. And Jay, just a quick stat I remember off the top of my head. We're 17 going into 18 weeks in the NFL season. Take a gander at how many sacks the entire team of the Atlanta Falcons have had this year. How many sacks in total they've had throughout 17 going on 18 weeks? Take a guess.
Oh, man, I'm going to guesstimate maybe 7 or 8.
No, okay, it ain't that bad. they've had 17. So they're
17? Okay.
17 sacks in 17 weeks. So that entire D-line pretty much, except for Grady Jarrett's about to get released and go somewhere else because you can't have that.
No.
We got Frankie coming back in here. All right.
What's up, boy?
Jets and Bills. I'm going to rock with the Bills, I guess. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Bills. I'm not. There's no way in hell the Jets win that game. Yeah. I'm going. Especially it's in Buffalo too. At that, yep. I'm going Bills. Bills all the way.
A big game here. The Niners, the 49ers, and the Rams. Big game here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going Rams all the way. I don't think the 49ers have a chance in hell at that game, especially and it's going to be at Rams at the Rams in LA. Yep. So I think the Saints get that last playoff spot. I think the Niners get sent home packing, and I think the Rams send them home packing. Honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Frankie, who do you think, Rams or 49ers?
I'm going to pick the Rams to win that one. Okay. But the real question I needed to ask is, did the Rams already clinch that division?
They are currently 12-4.
They should have clinched.
The Cardinals are 11-5, so they should have clinched.
Yeah, they should have clinched because the Cardinals are on a wild card.
Yeah, so they've clinched it then. Yeah, let me double check real quick, guys, just to be sure.
So, if the Rams have clinched the division spot already, and there's no way that Arizona can win the division, I don't see.
Sorry, the Rams have not clinched the West. They have not clinched it yet, so they need to win.
They're only a half game up on the Cardinals. So in theory, the Cardinals could win this week. The Rams could lose. And they would probably put the Cardinals.
What was that, Frankie? Frankie?
No, I'm just saying I'm going with the Rams just because they haven't clinched the division yet. They're going to obviously be starting their starters. And I'm just thinking because it's the last week, you got to think if teams that already clinched their division, they're not going to start their starters. They're going to let their starters rest. So right.
I mean, he's got a good point. He's got a good point there.
And that's what I'm thinking too. I think the Rams and Niners is a key game. I think the Chargers and Raiders are a key game. And obviously the Saints and Atlanta those are probably your three biggest games right there just because of what's at stake.
Also, the Rams have won 5 straight, so they are on a very good hot streak coming in late in the season. I'll go with the Rams that one as well. All right, let's keep going. Seahawks and Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I don't think Seahawks are going to be able to take it.
No, I think the Seahawks are done. I think the Seahawks are now considering a teardown mode. So I really don't think there's anything to that. And obviously the Cardinals are trying to get that divisional win, so they're going to be playing crazy.
All right. Panthers and Bucks. I mean, the Bucks are going to rest everyone, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, that could be a throwaway game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with the Bucks because I don't know who's going to be starting a quarterback for the Panthers. Their team fell apart. They went 4-0 to start the season, 3-0, 4-0, and now they're 5-11. What a fall from grace! I'm still going with the Bucks though. I still think the Bucks are going to.
I say if the Bucks start their starters, then it's the Bucks. Yeah. But if the Bucks go with their reserves, then it could be a toss-up.
They're going to go with the reserves. They got no reason to play unless for maybe seeding. But I mean, even at that point, who cares, right? Well, actually, no. I think Arian said they're not going to rest. So, I mean, if they're not, then oh well.
Yeah, if they go full strength, then I'm going with the Bucks. Yeah. But I'm saying if they did go with the reserves, then I'm definitely I'm gonna say it's a toss-up between the both of them.
Hopefully Frankie can join us in a little bit. He's got some bad service on the road. Hopefully everything's good. All right, so that is all of the games outside the ones we've talked about for our teams. Yeah. Let's keep it moving with our next topic, Jay. All right, we got more NFL. Joe Burrow is going to be resting this week. Joe Mixon and Micah Parsons are out with COVID. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and that's kind of what makes me nervous. Not so much for Cincinnati because honestly, Cincinnati is already kind of
locked up.
Yeah, they've locked it up. So and truthfully, they can rest Burrow, they can rest Mixon, they can lose this week, and it doesn't really matter because it's not like they're going to get the top seed anyway. Right. So for Cincinnati, it really is a meaningless game. So I don't, for Burrow and Mixon, it's probably better, honestly, that they do rest up for the playoffs and then get ready for the playoffs. So they're really kind of a moot point. The big one for me is Micah Parsons. And I say it because the Eagles and Cowboys are going at it, and the Eagles are trying to, that could be who we play in the playoffs. And I just, I want to gear up for Eagles. It's a divisional game, and I want to have all my guys out there. But I will say this: I think even if Parsons rests, and he's out, they're going to rest because he's out with COVID. So I still think that with Randall Gregory, Trayvon Diggs, and D-Law, I think they got enough on the defensive side of the ball to keep the game in check. And I think that, I think having Micah Parsons, if Micah Parsons is going to miss any time, go ahead and do it now. And get it out the way.
Frankie said Pat's got a chance to get number one. They do. They just got to win. They got to win. They got to get a little bit of luck. But man, they've had a
Frankie's delusional. Don't feed into that. Don't feed into that, Logan. He's delusional.
Needs the Bills, Chiefs, and that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Sorry, Frankie. Sorry.
Frankie's living on planet craziness.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I knew Burrow wasn't gonna play. He's just resting up for the playoffs. Why wouldn't he? It's kind of like college kids not wanting to play in their bowl games to get drafted. There's no reason. There is no reason for him to play in this game at all.
Right.
They've clinched their spots. They're going to the playoffs. As the division leader this time, right? They won their division. I mean, hopefully Mixon and Parsons, they don't have any lingering effects from COVID. I don't know if they're symptomatic, asymptomatic, whatever. But we've seen guys, right, Jay? And the thing that might worry you a little bit with Micah is sometimes after COVID, you get those jelly legs. You aren't as explosive those first few plays, those first few snaps. And it just kind of zaps you of your energy, right? So hopefully both those guys are asymptomatic.
And that is something to be concerned about.
Right.
It is something to be concerned about. I think that, God, if we had a first round bye, I would feel so much better about this.
Yeah. But
I think he's going to be ready. I don't want to put any bad juju on. I still think he can be ready and still be effective.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Hopefully all these guys get better soon, and we can see them full strength in the playoffs. All right, keeping it with some football, Jay. Start, bench, cut. This is a close one here. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're starting Burrow. Burrow, that's a clear cut.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Burrow ever since college, so I gotta go with him. But man, I don't know who you would start and cut.
I know who I'm starting. Honestly, I'm gonna bench Herbert and cut Allen. And I say that because, listen, I didn't like there's been a few games that Allen has played in that I just think he looks suspect. I think he looks predictable. I think he looks, especially when the whole new Buffalo or New England game and things like that. What was the game he played? Didn't he throw some picks last week? I think he had a rough 17 outing, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm just not as impressed with Allen. I think Herbert impresses me a little bit more.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking at some stats here because that's always the big tell, right?
Right. So
for this season, in terms of all three of them, Herbert has the most yards. He also has the most touchdowns, only by one. Both Allen and Burrow have 34 apiece. Herbert has 35. Interceptions pretty much the same. Herbert has 14. Burrow has 14. Allen has 15. But I'm going to cut Allen just because he has the lowest completion percentage at 64%. Burrow's at 70, and Herbert's at 67. So also Allen did earlier in his career have some accuracy issues. He was one of the worst completion percentages. So he can still sometimes have some rough games. And that's why I would cut Allen, even though he's really been a good player. But
look, let me tell you something.
I trust Herbert a little bit more. I trust Herbert and Burrow.
He went up against Atlanta.
Yeah, Frankie's got the same.
Last week, he went up against Atlanta last week, and he threw 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, and he had a rating of 17. Logan,
yeah. Atlanta don't have a great defense either. They have Terrell, who's a good corner, but that's about it. I know
he only threw for 120 yards and 3 picks
against the Atlanta Falcons, who have one of the worst defenses in the league. Let's not forget.
Yeah, and I'm not. Listen, I'm not an Allen guy. I never have been an Allen guy. I think Herbert's got a future in this league. I really believe.
There's a reason he won Rookie of the Year last year.
Yes, I really believe that Burrow and Herbert. You're going to hear a lot about these guys as the years go. As long as the injuries don't infect these guys. Yep. You could be looking, at the future of the football league. The next Brady's and stuff like that.
Right. It's like I said on Tuesday, Jay. This could be the next generation of Manning and Brady. So, I mean, both these guys throw for a bunch of yards. They don't have too many turnovers. They're both captains for their team, It seems that everyone likes him. So yeah, who knows, man? These two young kids, they could be the future of this league. Can't wait to see how they progress in the future, though. All right, let's keep it going here. More football, of course. It is the best time of the year. Derrick Henry's returning this week after a couple of weeks off. What does this do for the Titans' Super Bowl chances? Does it boost them a little bit? What do you think?
Listen, let me tell you something. Before Derrick Henry got hurt, Tennessee was at the top of their game. Mm-hmm. And everybody was saying that, that this was the best team in the league or one of the best teams in the league.
Yep.
I honestly believe that when Derrick Henry comes back, if he comes back in the same form for which he left, this Tennessee team is going to turn dramatically around. And you're going to see their stock rise mightily in the playoffs. No doubt about it, man. The Tennessee Titans could be the team to beat in the AFC when he comes back. Because let's be honest, when Derrick Henry's running, ain't nobody stopping him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he's called King Henry, right? So, I mean, they're middle of the road when it comes to yards per game, just in general. In terms of rushing yards per game, let me check real quick. They're still top 3, right? They're still top 3, right, even though Henry's been out for a little bit. They're behind the Colts and the Eagles. So they average about 142 yards per game. Henry's been out for how many games now? Do you have any idea? He's been out for a couple.
Henry's been out for at least 5 or 6. I'll say 6. I think he's been around. He's been out, I believe, at the halfway point of the season, if I'm not mistaken, like week 9 or maybe 10, somewhere in that area.
He has only played. Come on, ESPN, don't let me down here. How many games he played this year? Gotta love this interface, right? So the last game he played was on Halloween.
Right. So he hasn't been on the field since October.
Yep, October.
But I will tell you this, Logan. Without Henry, they are 11-5.
Yep.
Or you know what I'm saying? Since they lost, they haven't lost their positioning. Yeah, so this team is dangerous. And when you add Henry back into the mix, I mean, if you didn't take Henry out of the mix, they could be tied or maybe even better than the Green Bay Packers record, to be honest with you.
So
that's how they were trending.
So since his last game, which was against the Colts, right? They've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've played 8 games. So he's been out for 8 games.
Yeah.
In those 8 games, they have gone, let me see, 2 wins. They've gone, looks like 5-3. So I mean, that's good. That's really good. They've won 2 in a row. They beat Miami last week. They beat them big too. And I mean, hey, Foreman, the backup's been doing pretty good. Let's not lie. He ran for 132 yards last week. He ran for 108 against Pittsburgh. So I mean, they had guys step in.
So you figure. So you said last 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5-3 in the last 8. So they beat the Rams without Henry. They beat New Orleans without Henry. They beat San Francisco and Miami without Henry. But let me tell you something. With Henry, they've beaten Kansas City 27-3. They beat Buffalo 34-31. They beat they actually lost to the Cardinals 38-13.
Right. That was week 1, though.
But I will tell you this, man. I'm telling you, man, I think this team is special with this guy. And they have played some tough games. You know, they played some tough games in their schedule. So this team is battle tested.
Yeah. I mean, with Henry, you know, he does have a chance to still get over 1,000 yards this year. I think he's at like 940. So he only needs to go for about 60 or 70. And that's the kind of the tricky thing is, Jay, when it comes to running backs, they can sometimes get slow out the gate, especially after injuries. So hopefully it's not like that for Henry. You know, in the playoffs, they hope that he can really help out their defense. Let me see how they're looking here. Just how many points per game they give up. Where are you at here? So the Titans give up about 20 points a game, which is actually about top 10 in the league. So not bad. So their defense is still doing its job. Like you said, they're 5-3 in the games that he was not there. Right. And it's going to help, obviously. Whenever he's healthy, he is the best running back in the league, right? He's been like that for last 2-3 years. Right.
And they've played up, like I said, if you can hold a Kansas City team to 3 points, you know, I'm telling you now, if you can hold Kansas City to 3 points, that's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna call it right now. I'm just gonna call it. If Henry comes back, and if he can play at the level for which he left, I'm calling Tennessee the number 1 team in the AFC. I'm just gonna say it. They're number one in the AFC. If Henry comes back in the same form for which he left, I got Tennessee best in the AFC.
Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah, we'll see what he can do, but he came back at the perfect time, right? Perfect time. They did fine without him. They didn't fall off a cliff. They still had that winning record when he wasn't on the field, and that just tells you just how good this team is, right? They lose their best player, their A1 player, and they are still tops in their division, and they're still one of the best teams in the NFL. All right. Pretty straightforward question here, Jay. Who's going to replace Matt Nagy? Because he's going to coach his last game tomorrow. Who's coming in for him?
You know, I think there's a lot of coordinators out there that are waiting to bide their time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still think, you know, with a running quarterback like Justin Fields, and if you think of another running back that's plays, you know, is Patrick Mahomes. They both have, you know, running type styles. I don't see why Bieniemy should not be in serious consideration for that Chicago job. I think he's one. I think another one. I would not be surprised if they interview Jim Harbaugh for that. You know, Jim Harbaugh comes from a good pedigree. I still think he's ready to come back to the NFL at some level. Mm-hmm. You know, but then there's a few others. I think Kellen Moore. is probably looking for a head coaching spot from the Cowboys. So I wouldn't be surprised if he got a head coaching job. And let's not remember that possibly Pete Carroll might be looking to move.
Yeah. One name that you did not mention there, Jay, is offensive coordinator for the Super Bowl champs, Byron Leftwich. His name's been getting
Byron, but I think Byron's going to Jacksonville.
You think so?
That's why I didn't say that one. Not that he probably wouldn't interview for the Chicago job, but I think Byron's got ties to Jacksonville, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into Jacksonville and tries to do something there. Yeah,
I mean, he's definitely looked good his last 2-3 years. He's been in Tampa. Josh McDaniels over in for the Patriots. Sorry about that, Frankie, but you know how it is with Patriots.
I don't think Josh leaves though, bro.
You don't think so?
I don't think Josh leaves. I honestly think Josh likes where he's at. I think Josh likes being a coordinator. He had that one head coaching gig there for a little while, and it didn't really pan out too well for him.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I just think Josh is one of those kind of guys that enjoys playing for the Patriots. I think he enjoys playing for Belichick. And I just think he just stays put. I don't think he rocks that boat. I think he tries to ride it to another Super Bowl with Mac Jones.
So Frankie put that he thinks that the Bills offense coordinator Brian Daboll could be
one, absolutely,
because his name's kind of been linked there even before Nagy got hired. So, that could be interesting. But there's definitely a bunch
Frankie
of
knows Josh not leaving. Josh isn't leaving. I just think he's so happy, and I think he knows he's been successful with Belichick that I think he's just going to stay put and do his thing.
Yeah. But whoever it is probably going to be a better candidate.
But I'll tell you right now. But what do you do if you're coming into the Chicago's organization? You got a prospectus Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. You got a defense that hasn't. I mean, outside of Quinn,
right, yeah.
You got Quinn, and I think and what's the other guy's name?
Khalil Mack.
Raekwon Smith.
Yeah, him too. Yeah.
Right. So you got Raekwon Smith. You got Quinn. I think you keep those two guys on defense, but they're gonna have to rebuild that defense. I mean, they're gonna have to tear it down and restructure it.
Jay, would you trade Khalil Mack right now?
Yes, I would trade Khalil Mack.
That's what. Hey,
because he hasn't really done a whole lot. Jay, he's getting older, and I don't think that's a guy. They're gonna have to rebuild that defense, and I just think with age and injuries working against Khalil Mack, I think you trade him and get whatever trade value you could get from him, and you try to restock or retool to the draft.
Bro, I'm happy because when the Raiders traded him, it was a very sad day, and I was hoping. I'm like, bro, I hope the Bears don't go to the playoffs. Be potential. Win their divisions, get to the Super Bowl maybe. They ain't done nothing. They ain't done much. And to be fair, though, it's kind of a neutral trade back from win, right? Because all the Raiders draft picks from them, I don't know who they're off the top of my head, but I can guarantee probably 9 out of the 10 of them are either not in the league anymore, cut, in jail, or just on different teams. So I say that trade from back in, 2018 or whatever, it cancels out, right? Because I mean, the Bears ain't done much. The Raiders are doing a little bit of something, but still nothing amazing. So I'm happy this trade kind of worked out, right? It didn't just blow up in my face.
And if we can, so roughly the Bears got $43 million in cap space.
Okay.
So they're about 43. That's about middle of the road between all the other teams, right? You got Miami at 73 million, and then you look down to where the Bears are, and they're around 43 million. So that gives them enough cap space that they can work some free agent deals for the defense. Maybe try to pick up a wide receiver because look, let's be honest, they don't have a lot of wide receiver help there either. That's also another. The wide receiver was a weakness, and their defense is a weakness.
Yeah, they don't really have any good. They have what's the one receiver they have?
I know they got Robinson the second.
Robinson, that's who it is. They've got him, and I'm not sure who else, to be honest.
But the point is they have enough cap space that they could add a couple of free agents on the defensive side, maybe add a receiver or two on the offensive side, and then you also have the draft that you can retool through the draft as well. I think between the draft and free agency, they should be able to add some key additions to that defense, that offense, and then retool a little bit through the draft. That could put them. It won't get them to the Super Bowl necessarily, but it will definitely get them going in the right direction.
Yeah. Also,
much better. They'll have a much better season, with their new head coach than what they got currently under Nagy.
Also, I looked it up, and I just want to see who the Raiders got for all those draft picks that they got for Mock. Really, the only one that's useful is Josh Jacobs. So, got a good running back. I'll take it.
Hey, listen, your poor Raiders have been hurting for a hot minute.
This season ain't been easy, man. But hey,
it hasn't.
They got a chance.
And the really sad thing about it is the one that really hurts the most is Ruggs.
Yeah,
because he has such a bright future and he is so athletic that it hurts him to the degree that obviously now he's lost forever.
Nah, he's played his last snap, man.
But how good could he have been to that team had he just done the right things and continued to develop his game?
He would have been probably, we're
talking about a Tyreek Hill type of guy.
He would if he would have been healthy, if he would have not did what he did that night, and if he would have had a illustrious career just based off his skill set, right? What he did at Alabama in the few games he played for the Raiders, he probably could have been up there with some of the.
This guy had the speed of Tyreek Hill. And he had Tyreek Hill type speed.
Catching it's probably going to be one of the biggest what ifs, right, in the franchise's history.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You live and learn. They got a new head coach midway through the season. They have more guys getting injured. It's crazy. I'm waiting for the season to be over at this point. If they don't lose, I can just take a big sigh against the Chargers. If they win, the train keeps on rolling.
Speaking of the Raiders, real quick, before we go to Mr. Hayden Hutchinson, do the Raiders are they going to keep their coach? Are they going to be in the coaching carousel as well?
I don't know. It's a tough decision because he's done pretty good. He's done all right, but I mean, I don't know because it feels like the players are getting behind him, right? And I don't know why you would kind of mess that up if the players are behind him, if the GM, all that, if they're cool with it. I wouldn't mess it up. I'd keep them at least for another season. I mean, they're doing good.
I get it. I get it. So I mean, and obviously this season's not over with yet. And if they make the playoffs, I mean, they could quite.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's go to college now because the draft is in April, late April. And look at us, Jay, already getting hot off the gates doing some draft prospects here.
Yes,
Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan going to the NFL. What a stud. What do you think about this guy?
Here's the deal, right? This draft is not going to be the typical quarterback, running back, wide receiver-driven draft. Nope. This is going to be a lot of defensive linemen, a lot of offensive linemen, sprinkle in a couple of wide receivers here and there, maybe a tight end or two, maybe some running backs here and there. But defense and offensive linemen are going to be very heavy at the beginning of the draft. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at the number one guy, Aiden Hutchinson, right here. I think Thibodeau goes in right behind him at number 2. Mm-hmm. So you figure, okay, Jacksonville. Okay, and if you're Byron Leftwich and you're coming into this team, you're taking Aiden Hutchinson right to the get. So that's like a big key maker right there on your defense, right there. I mean, he's NFL ready. He's going to make he's going to make an impact right off the get go. But let me ask you this: do you take Hutchinson over Thibodeau? Because Thibodeau's playing extremely well as well. Which one do you think has a better upside, Thibodeau or Hutchinson?
I would give the slight edge to Hutchinson just because he's, at least from what I can recall, He did good things against Ohio State back when they were ranked 2 or 3. He's a sack machine. He's got 14 and a half, 15 this year.
Right.
I know Thibodeau's got some great numbers also at out of Oregon, I think, right? Is that where he's from?
Yeah, he's out of Oregon.
Oregon, okay, yeah. But I think that everyone's going to give the slight edge to Hutchinson, just because, I mean, look, Oregon did have their moment in the sun, right? They were a top team for a week or two, and then they fell off the cliff. But I've seen Hutchinson play a little bit more, so I would give the slight edge to him at this moment.
Right, because I mean, and I tell you, Thibodeau's look. I was looking at his stats, or looking at him as just in general, and he's a junior defensive end. He's 258, 6'5". He's a pretty good tall drink of water as well. And if you go to his stats, he's got 49 tackles, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He's got 35 solo tackles, 7 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. So I think you're right. The number one, Michigan's probably playing. Well, they're probably both playing just as hard a teams because, they obviously, because I know that they had to go. Oregon plays they obviously play pretty good ones as well. Right. But I think Hayden's numbers are a little bit higher than Thibodeau's, not by much, but a little bit higher than Thibodeau's. And he's obviously in the or played in the national is in the national championship playoffs. So I do think Hutchinson gets it, but man, I think Thibodeau's not too far behind him.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm just looking here on Pro Football Focus. They have him listed at their draft projection. He goes number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So
Aiden Hutchinson?
Yes, Aiden Hutchinson goes number 1. And then you're right, Thibodeau right behind him to the Detroit Lions. So, yeah,
I'll tell you what, I would be pissed off if the Cowboys got it. Now, honestly, the Cowboys really don't need him. What we need we just need more secondary help for the Cowboys.
Right.
If we get more secondary help to go along with Trayvon Diggs, watch out, America. Dallas Cowboys will resurrect.
There you go. All right. All right. Well, before we get on to our next topic, we're going to go a little brief pause in the show here, do some nice promo work here. Go check out all of the amazing network, all the amazing shows at All Sports All Plays, and we'll be back in just a second, everyone.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays.
All right, thanks to ASAP for all of the great promos and all the great shows I got. All right, going to the NBA now. Jay, pretty simple. Who are your top 3 teams in the East?
I want to pull out something real quick. I know I can tell you right now, I'm going Chicago number 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to go Brooklyn number 2.
Wait, who Brooklyn?
I'm going Brooklyn number 2. And the reason why I got Brooklyn number 2 over Chicago number 1 is Brooklyn number 2. I'm concerned about the amount of minutes that Kevin Durant is playing. I really am, because I don't like the fact that he's playing over what 40 some odd minutes a game every game. Yeah. I don't know how well his body can stay to that. So I'm still waiting for that leg drop. And the fact that they only have Kyrie Irving on away games,
yeah, it's kind of iffy.
That leaves a lot. That in my mind, I think that Brooklyn looks really freaking good on paper. And they are in the second place spot, but they don't have. I don't. When I go to bed at night, I don't say, you know what, Brooklyn is going to win the East. Yeah. Brooklyn is going to win the championship. I don't feel that way. I don't even feel confident saying that. I think Brooklyn is going to be. I think they're going to be competitive. I think they're going to be really good. But I don't think that they're going to come out of the East in the top spot. I don't feel that way. And it's nothing against Durant or anything. I just feel like they're one injury away. And let's be honest, they had Durant, they had Harden, they had Kyrie Irving last year, and they didn't pull it off then either.
Yeah. So who's your
anyway? But I got Chicago. So I'm going Chicago. Mm-hmm. I got Brooklyn at the second spot, and then and you know what? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do it. You can't make me, Logan. I'm actually going to go Chicago number 1. Okay. I'm going to go Milwaukee at number 2. I'm going Brooklyn at 3.
Oh, wow.
That's my top 3.
All right.
And I'm going to say this. Milwaukee's getting ready to release DeMarcus Cousins, which I think is a stupid thing to do because they want to clear a roster spot for, I guess, whoever they may want to bring in. But why? DeMarcus Cousins is playing great. He's fitting into your system just fine. Why are you going to release him? I don't understand. But nevertheless, I'm going to leave it at that. Chicago, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn.
All right, Frankie, who's your top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Jay. I like that top 3, but I'm gonna switch it up and I'm gonna go Brooklyn number 2 and Milwaukee at number 3, just because Brooklyn is a little bit better than Milwaukee right now. I'm not feeling that Milwaukee's gonna have the chance to defend their title, but they got to be the top 3 because they still can turn it around at any point. It's still midway through the season, anything can happen come playoff time, but. Yep. I'm gonna stick with the top 3 Jay got, but I'm just gonna switch it up and put Brooklyn number 2, Milwaukee at number 3.
All right, I'm gonna go off the cuff here, at least for one of my teams, because I don't want to pick the top 3 teams in the East. I want to go different. I'm gonna go Chicago 1, Brooklyn. Y'all convinced me. I'm gonna go Chicago 1, Milwaukee 2. I'm gonna go with the 76ers for 3. They've won 5 in a row, so they are the hottest team in the East beside the Bulls. They have the worst home record in the NBA, at least for the Eastern Conference, but they're great on the road, and they're only 5 games back of first, so they could be getting a little hot run here. So that's why I got them at number 3.
Yeah, I can see that. Hey, Frankie, since you're not on the show with your T-shirt, and we only get a small glimpse of it, if you please say Cowboys rock really loudly with your chest, that will make me feel better.
Fuck you. I'll just
Jay's going to sleep like a baby tonight knowing this. Here it is.
Yeah. Hey, open it up wide. Open it up wide. I want to see the whole Cowboys.
Hold on, mother.
That's you lucky he's on the road right now.
I'm going against the wall here.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. I love you, Frankie.
Jay's sleeping like a baby tonight.
And I feel more disrespected. I feel like I'm more disrespecting my team because I got my jacket on, my Patriot jacket.
Oh.
I feel
you're trying to you're trying to hide it. See, that's the thing. You got to cover it up.
Hey, Frankie, you made my night. Frankie, you made my night, Frankie.
You made his week.
I stopped at a gas station to get gas, and I noticed that my jacket was holy shit. I turned around to my car, and I'm like, let me zip on my jacket real quick.
Bro, they're going to be looking
that even makes me even that much happier.
You're lucky. Second thoughts for this shirt.
Oh shoot, he's got. Hey, so Ben Sutter's got Brooklyn,
Bulls, and Bucks.
Chicago, and Bucks.
All right.
Wow.
We'll switch it up a little bit.
I want Ben Suttereth. Ben Suttereth, I want you to in the comments section. Please tell me why you're disrespecting Chicago's outstanding run over Brooklyn. You got to give me the unbiased, filtered truth why you think that Brooklyn is better than Chicago right now. I'll tell you, Chicago, look at what they've been through. They went through COVID. They went through everything. They went through the struggles, and they're coming out number 1 right now. That's crazy.
MVP caliber season.
That's crazy to me, man. Absolutely.
All right, let's go to the West, though. Let's go.
Let's go with the West. Let's go with the West.
We know the Lakers are out there.
Hey, with the West, I'm gonna go real quick. Hey, I'm gonna make this real quick. It's going to be – I still got Golden State. No, I'm a correction on that. I got Phoenix at 1, Golden State at 2, and then I got Memphis at 3.
Jay, you read my mind. That's who I got. I got Phoenix 1, Golden State 2. Only because Curry struggled a little bit, and Memphis has won 6 in a row. How could you not go with them? They're 4 seed.
And I don't want to be disrespectful to Phoenix and what they did last year and the chemistry that those guys are playing with. And don't underestimate the power that Chris Paul brings to that team, because as it not been for Chris Paul going down when Houston played Golden State, it could have been Houston going to the Western Conference Finals that year because they were that close.
No, Frankie, who are your top 3 teams?
Lakers. No, let me stop. I'm gonna have to go Golden State number 1, Memphis number 2.
Fair.
Woo!
Hey, it's fair point. Who you got 3 then?
Wow.
You got Phoenix or you got Utah? Those are really the only 2 choices you got.
I got Phoenix at number 3.
Man, you gonna disrespect Phoenix like that? Seriously?
I disrespect Phoenix like that. Look at what John Morant and Memphis is.
Hey, listen, I'm all about John Morant too, man, but damn. That's pretty hardcore to say right now. Given the that's Frankie. That's you're stretching. That's like taking a fat lady and stretching her so thin that she looked like she on like life support.
I said a couple of weeks ago, Jay, that Memphis is going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. That is my hot take right there. Memphis is going to make it to the Western.
Okay, I get it, and that's a hot take. So and I don't want to say that can't happen, but golly, okay, hey, I'm putting that in the memory banks. Oh yeah, that's going right up here, Frankie. And I'm going to pull this out as we get closer to playoff time, and I'm going to remind you of that. So right now you got Memphis at number 2. I got you. Okay, it's in the book.
Right. Also, just kind of look at the standings here. I see if I kind of forgot about the Clippers are 17 right now. They're 19-19. My God, they fell off a cliff, didn't they?
Oh yeah, Clippers, Lakers, they're on the garbage dumps, man. They're not even in the conversation.
What you saying, Frankie?
My Lakers. Don't you sleep on my Lakers. We
have they're one game over 500.
The Lakers are sleeping on the Lakers. Are you kidding me?
We have not lost a game since before LeBron and Mike's birthday. All right, we've been on a good winning streak right now, and we're going to keep it up. It's a new year. LeBron James is turning it around. Russell Westbrook.
You're right. I'm sorry. You're 20-19, Frankie. My bad. 20-19. Woo! Those are great numbers. Woo! Okay.
He has done when he was with the Houston Rockets, and that was not turn the ball over. Finally.
Hey, I will tell you this. That is the NBA hot take. Mm-hmm. Russell Westbrook has 0 turnovers. That's almost unheard of.
Can he do it again, though? All right, just quick yes or no. Will he have another game this season with 0 turnovers? Yes or no?
No.
No, ain't no maybe. Yeah, no maybe. Yes or no?
I don't want to say no because I feel
that
like
smile says no.
I really do. I feel like he can. If he watches the tape and put in his mindset that he keeps playing the way he did last game, I feel like he can go without another turnover.
Well, it went 2 years without it, so I don't see it happening twice in the season. I just don't see it.
You never know.
Frankie, you want to put another bet on it?
Not another one.
Hey, I'll take another bet, Frankie. You want to put another bet on it?
No. I'll take it.
There you have it, folks.
Let's do some hypotheticals, ladies and gentlemen. Should the Knicks go all in for Damian Lillard and Ben Simmons? Yay or nay?
Woo!
Oh, we have an easy comment here from Damian Hernandez saying, "Hell no."
Hey, I like the Damian going to the Nets or going to the Knicks.
Yeah, I can see it more than Ben
going to the Knicks. So I'm gonna go along with Hernandez and Damian and say no. I don't think you do because honestly the Knicks they're not playing bad ball. They're not. I think they're right. Where are they at right now? They're like number. Where are they? Ooh.
Come on.
They're 18. They're 18-20. Hey. I don't know, man. You know what?
They're not in the playoffs.
I don't think you go in for. I still don't think Simmons is the right answer. But I think Damian can add obviously. But here's the deal. Okay, Logan. Mm-hmm. If they do go in for Damian, who are you giving up? Because you got to give up a lot.
It's got to be. You got to be able to get. I would say Randall, maybe Toppin, RJ Barrett. Those 3 have got to be on the table if you're trading for Damian Lillard and a first-round pick, obviously.
What I don't understand is this is the same New York Knicks team that was in the playoffs last year. And right now, they're underneath the play-in. I don't understand what happened to the New York Knicks that got him, playing well to playing under 500.
Yeah, I don't know. Frankie, what would you do in this situation? Would you trade for Damian Lillard or Ben Simmons or help both?
I mean, it'll be a smart move for the Knicks to go for Damian Lillard. Do what you can, get Damian Lillard to come to New York. Have Kemba Walker run your bench as the bench leader point guard. Yep. That'll be a smart move.
I forgot
like Jay said. Like Jay said, who would they give up for Damian Lillard? And like Logan said, it would have to be something huge. Definitely a first round pick, maybe 2. I wouldn't say 2 first round picks, but like maybe two draft picks. Definitely some key top caliber players, like Julius Randle or RJ Barrett. Definitely Obi Toppin. But will they go for Simmons? Hell no. If the Knicks go for Simmons, then we're just gonna call it right now and say that the Knicks are the stupidest franchise in basketball history if they go for Ben Simmons, honestly. You're just making your team worse by going for Ben Simmons instead of making them look best and going for Damian Lillard.
So maybe to get Lillard, they'd have to give up Kemba Walker and some draft picks, or they're going to have to go for Randall and draft picks, depending on
I don't know
depending on what Portland is saying. Now Portland's going to be in rebuild mode. If they get rid of if they get rid of Damian, that's pretty much Portland saying we are in reset mode.
I mean, they should be.
And if they're in reset mode, that means they're really looking for draft picks, not so much the best player, because the best player is going to have age on them. They can't really build around that. So they're looking for draft picks. So New York's going to have to really come out of maybe with the player plus picks.
Jay, I mean, right now they are the worst road team in the NBA. They are
so New York is going to have to sacrifice probably. And Logan, you tell me if I'm wrong, and Frankie, you can tell me if I'm wrong too. New York is probably going to have to give up at least 3 first rounders for Damian.
I would I would go with 2. I would say probably 2 first rounders and whatever players you can get.
So you think they go with 2 first rounders and a player
or 2. I don't know what they would go with.
Right. No, I got you. Maybe like you said, an Obi Toppin,
2 and 2.
Somebody who has,
I don't see them trading Randall.
I don't either.
He's really their number one guy.
But I don't see Portland wanting Randall. I think Portland's wanting picks.
They would want picks, and they would need obviously another backup, a new point guard. Kind of like Hernandez says here. D Rose for Lillard. I mean, you could probably
that's dumb. No, Damian, come on.
The only way, not straight up, Jay, the only way is if it was D Rose and one
picks.
of the other players. Picks or whoever, some other guys. He also says the Knicks are better off trading for Miles and Sabonis than Lillard and Simmons. Yeah,
I can see that. I can see
Turner,
Sabonis. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I can see that working.
Some bigs. Yeah, that's what.
Frankie, what do you think, man? What do you think about what he's saying, man? You think for Damian? You think they're looking for picks?
For picks, or would you go for Damian, Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis?
If they were going to, they should honestly go for like two draft picks, maybe definitely a first rounder.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe like a first rounder and a third round pick, and probably a top player.
Top player. That would work, I think.
So maybe you can even say a Kemba Walker and 2 first rounders.
I wouldn't. If I was the Knicks, I would not throw out Kemba Walker.
I wouldn't either. That's the point. I wouldn't either.
He's their like 6 man.
And I really don't think Portland wants Kemba. I think Portland wants picks and maybe a young player, like Logan said, maybe like an Obi Toppin,
with Barrett, with any of those guys. They have some guys they can throw in there. And also, Jay, go ahead.
I would trade away Barrett just because if you was to get Damian Lillard, there would be no room for Barrett. You got Damian Lillard, then you got Kemba Walker.
So maybe it's RJ Barrett and 2 picks.
That could work.
Yeah,
that could work. That's not a bad idea.
I can see that working. And I think if I'm Portland, I'm taking it. And I think if I'm the Knicks, I'm taking it.
So I mean, Barrett's been okay.
Could you imagine Damian Lillard, Kemba Walker, and Julius Randle?
That ain't a bad team. That would help him out.
And Phillips has a better chance at coaching RJ Barrett than he does at coaching Damian Lillard.
That's also and also Jay, just kind of go back on your point. How you said the Blazers should be in rebuild mode. They pretty much are.
Because if you let go of Damian, that's you saying I'm in rebuild.
I mean, right now, even with Lillard, they're 14-23, a .378 win percentage. They're 15 games behind. They're not even in the top 10.
Is Chauncey Billups on the hot seat?
Jay, that was my hot take. I said Chauncey Billups might get fired by the end of the season.
I think so too. I think Chauncey could be on the freaking hot seat.
Isn't this the same team from last year?
I don't think so.
Pretty much same team. And I think didn't the Blazers make the playoffs last year? If I'm not crazy, or they were close to it.
I believe the Blazers did make the playoffs last year.
I think so.
I don't think Chauncey Billups will get fired. A lot of his top key players honestly got hurt early. Such as CJ McCollum. Look at him; he's still out with lungs and stuff.
Yeah.
So give Chauncey Billups one more year,
and then we can talk about firing him.
If he trades away Damian Lillard, then he will be on the hot seat. because you're moving away from Damian Lillard and you're showing it. You do something without him. So if you can do something without him, then prove it.
We have a topic here from David Hernandez saying, do y'all think the Knicks should pick up Boogie Cousins right now since he just got cut? Ooh. Well,
and that's what I was saying.
Let me just go to that point. Is it if what you said with getting Turner and Sabonis, it seems like the Knicks would need some defensive help. I don't watch the team close. I don't know. Boogie don't play defense. He don't play defense. He's a great offensive scorer, but he's pretty much just going to be Julius Randle 2.0 in a way, right?
Right.
He's undersized at center. So, I mean, I think the Cousins is going to get picked up. I just don't know if the Knicks are going to be the team to get him, though. What do you think?
Yeah, okay, so Cousins just got released. Who really would benefit the most off of Cousins? I'm thinking, golly, man. You know what? They don't. The Phoenix doesn't need him. They got Ayton.
Nope.
Golden State could go, but Wiseman coming back.
Yeah, they don't need him.
So they really don't need him unless they want him coming off of the bench. Could LA pick him up and be right there alongside of Dwight Howard?
Lakers need shooters. Lakers need defense. Marcus don't do much of either.
He don't. Yeah, I'm about to say he don't do much. You're right. So
he's going to sign with someone I know.
If he does, he's going on the vet minimum.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think he is. Like I said, he's played too good this year, just in those short in recent games. He'll get picked up. I don't know where. Maybe some bottom feeder team, right? But he deserves a spot in the NBA.
Hey, just so we're tracking, Portland played Denver in the first round of last year's playoffs. Denver won that series 4-2.
Yeah, and now look at Portland in. I think they're the 12th.
And now they're in rebuild mode.
Yep. Oh well. All right. This isn't the last topic here, but my God, it's been oh, we need you to come back, Frankie. We didn't get your thoughts on this on Tuesday, brother. Antonio Brown's response to the Buccaneers. Jay,
here's the deal. This is what I'm saying. This is where I'm coming from. Antonio put out some tweets. Not tweets, excuse me. He put out some text messages about what he was saying with Bruce Arians. Basically telling Bruce and showing the pictures like, hey, look, I want to be all in, coach. I'm here for the team, but my ankle's rolled.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Bruce Arians is basically like, well, let's wait and see how you look, and if you're ready to go, then we need you. And he comes back and says, hey, I'm here for the team, coach, but I don't think I don't think my ankle's going to let me do it. Here's the deal.
He played, Jay. He played the game. He was doing shortcuts.
Hey, let me tell you something. I don't have a problem with Antonio Brown not wanting to come back in the game. I don't have a problem with any of what happened. The only thing I have a problem with is that, and Antonio, I hope you hear me on this, is it's just the way you handled it, brother. Mm-hmm. If you would have just kept all your gear on, you could have did two things. You could have just sat down the fucking bench, wait till the game's over with, and just walk back to the fucking locker room and then wait for your Uber ride and just take off. Fuck it. Nobody's gonna make you. They can't force you to play the game. Just sit there and bide your time and then leave. That way you leave yourself opportunities to catch on with a new team. That's option one. And if that's not good enough for you, if you just can't be on the field, then keep all of your gear on, brother, and just casually, nonchalantly make your way to the locker room and then take off your shit. But to just take off your shit and throw it to the crowds and gallivant across the end zone while the play is still going on, throwing your stuff in the crowd, skipping, hopping, peacing out. It's the way you handled it. It's all about how you handled the situation. That's what got you where you are. And you have literally screwed yourself over 10 times over. I don't care how well it looks good on those tweets or texts or whatever, because you're trying to prove your case about why you did what you did. And you're trying to give yourself an out. But there's no out. There's no out because you didn't give yourself an out. You did what you did, and you ruined every single chance you'll ever have. I hope Dancing with the Stars is looking for another comeback.
Jay, it's funny you mentioned that because there were some rumors, as always in the NFL, there were rumors circulating that the reason that the Bucks kept Brown on their roster for so long, because he just got released today officially he got released, is there were some rumors going around that I think I heard two teams could potentially sign him. I don't know why you would, but there were two teams that could have signed him.
Did they say what the teams were, Logan?
Yes, I did. The Kansas City Chiefs, because they lost to the Buccaneers last year. Why not get that secret weapon, right? And there's also a team who lost the star wide receiver who's looking for a good push in the playoffs, the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, and we have a history of floating crazy offers to people who really are
crazy. Yep. So you
remember
lost
a guy by the name, and let me ask you this. Does anybody remember a guy? We got him, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we got him from the Minnesota Vikings. His name was Demetrius Underwood.
I have no idea who that is.
You might want to go Google him. He played on defense. He was a very good, I believe he played defensive end. I'm not 100%, but I know he was on defense, and he was supposed to be the next coming, the next DeMarcus Ware, the next big guy. But Demetrius Underwood had very, very he had a lot of issues with psychologicalness. Mm-hmm. And I know that's not a word, but I'm just saying it. I don't know if it was OCD or if it was schizophrenia. He had a disorder. He had a mental disorder, and it ruined his whole career. This guy had a lot of potential. Logan, this guy was the next guy. I'm telling you, he was the next big mega superstar on defense. But his mental issues were so distraught to the point where I believe he was naked outside running down the street, if I'm not mistaken. He got picked up and arrested for it, and there's a big melee ordeal. The Cowboys tried to bring him in. They thought that they could give him counseling. They thought that they could do all these psychological things with him and put all this rehabilitation into him, and that he could resurrect his career and be the next coming of the next Lawrence Taylor or something. And it just mentally, it never panned out. Did you Google that? Did you find it?
I'm looking at his Wikipedia page right now, Jay, and let me just read some not highlights, but some key points I've seen here. Yeah. So he was drafted in 1999 in the first round, 29th overall by the Minnesota Vikings. He signed a 5-year, $5.3 million contract with a $1.7 million signing bonus. He walked out of training camp the next day.
So, literally?
Yeah. And there's more. There's more. On August 13th, he was waived. So, Jay, they signed this guy. First round pick, August 1st. 12 days later, he got waived.
Yeah.
He forfeited a $1.75 million bonus, saying he could not resolve the conflict between playing football and serving his Christian faith. But it gets even more crazy. August 16th, 3 days later, the Miami Dolphins claimed him off of waivers after 23 teams passed on him. He signed for only $395,000.
Right.
Played only one preseason game for hurting his shoulder, and also showing a lack of focus on football. Multiple times during team meetings, Underwood was found not taking notes, but instead writing about the apocalypse. There's even more here. Although he did make the team, he was deactivated for the first two games because of an injury. Though in September, he was arrested by police for failure to pay child support for his 17-month-old twins. Underwood then cut his throat and ran down a street in Lansing, Michigan. Following the team's bye week, he was placed on the non-reserve list. Then it said that he spent 2 months in protective care and was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Okay.
After he escaped from a psychiatric care facility, he was released by the Dolphins on December 17th. And Jay, like you said, the Cowboys tend to go for the craziest people sometimes. So he got released by the Dolphins December 17th, 1999. So what 5 months he went through.
5 months.
All of that. All of that. So then in March of 2000, he signed a 2-year contract with the Cowboys. Let me see here. Because they also had signed Alonzo Spellman, who also had bipolar disorder.
Right.
He moved from DN to defensive tackle and became a backup. He got a couple of sacks, got some tackles. He led the team in 14 quarterback pressures. But in January of 2001, he tried to kill himself for the second time by running into traffic twice on a busy suburban highway.
Yeah.
He was released in October after he missed practices, and he was then admitted to a psychiatric hospital. Other than that, he played in the CFL in 2005. That's about it. He didn't play much. And here's some more stuff too about him. Starting in 2002, he served stints in Dallas County Jail for aggravated robbery on a paraplegic driver assaulting a police officer and evading arrest. He spent time in a closed custody cell. In February of 2003, he was transferred to Lou Stewart Justice System in North Texas State Hospital in Vernon. In 2004, he was arrested for refusing to get out of his stalled car on a highway. In 2007, he entered the Philadelphia Industrial Correctional Center, and he left in 2011. I think right now I'm not seeing much of him in terms of his Wikipedia page as of late. So
counting beans. The point of the matter is this guy. If you look at his college career, he really was. I mean, he had so much potential, Logan. Right, and that's what I say about potential. Potential is only as good if you make good on it. But if you don't make good on it, the potential is wasted, and it is what it is. But the guy had potential to be one of the greats. Yep. He really did. He had potential. He just psychologically, he never could get over all the issues he had going on mentally in his head. And I see this, and I say that to cross segue back over to Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown has got seriously, a lot of, I think he's got a lot of mental issues going on. Mm-hmm. He's got all the talent in the freaking world. Everybody knows the man has talent, but psychologically, he goes left. And when he goes left, Logan, he goes all the way left. Yep. And that's the thing. I think the Cowboys probably could put a minimum waiver on him since we lost Gallup to an ACL tear. Bring him in. I see the if they're going to do it with the guy like Demetrius Underwood, why would they not take that same token on somebody like AB?
Yeah, I mean, he, like we said on Tuesday, Damon Hernandez is saying he's got more problems than AP in all caps. Yeah,
he does. He does. Hey, Damien. No, he does. But you know what? But psychological issues can take everything away from you. I don't care how good you are on the field. I don't care how athletically talented you are. If you are not right in the head, those talents don't mean nothing. And I'm not going to
Jay,
they don't mean nothing.
After everything that transpired last week, there were a lot of tweets and articles that put that hit that Vontaze Burfict had on him a couple of seasons back that just drilled him right in the head with his shoulder. He was out, he was concussed, he was out for a minute.
Right.
That might have maybe been the start of all of these psychological issues and stuff like that. But I mean, we said this dude has the numbers to be a first ballot Hall of Famer already. He's super talented. There's a reason he was Tom Brady. He was his guy. That's why he gave him pretty much a last chance, right?
Right.
And like I said, his response was that he had said previously that he was hurt, but then he still played in the game. Arians was saying that he never went to go speak with the team doctor or physician or whoever during the game. He just went straight up to Coach Arians and said, "Hey, I'm hurt." Right. And Arians basically just said, either you get in or we're cutting you, I think, or get off the field, whatever. They never really figured out what it was exactly. And Brown just said, "All right, I'm out of here." And I feel like, and I said this on Tuesday, if he didn't make such a show about it, throwing his gloves, throwing his helmet, throwing his jersey and whatnot, doing cartwheels and jumping jacks and everything in the end zone while the play is going on also, then it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But the way he went about it, like you'd mentioned, it caused so much negative attention. And I mean, this guy was already on the hot seat. I mean, let's not forget, maybe a month ago, he got hit for having a fake vaccine card, which is a felony in the U.S. So, I mean, plus all the other off-the-field stuff he's done too with, throwing furniture, not paying people, not paying position, all this stuff. It just added up, and this is probably the last time we would see Antonio Brown, because I wouldn't sign him. If I was a GM, I would not sign this guy.
I'm going to tell you right now, Logan, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep it real. As a Cowboys fan,
kind of.
I think without AB, even without Gallup. Yeah, I know. Why haven't we heard from anything? I don't think AB. Honestly, truthfully, AB hasn't done anything. Truthfully, AB hasn't done anything that really should warrant Goodell stepping in. He didn't do anything illegal. Right. He took off his pads and quit on his team. Does that really going to warrant Goodell saying something? He quit on his team. He didn't do anything illegal. He didn't call it doing drugs. He didn't call it, going out there and wrecking his car. He just quit on his team. Why is Goodell going to say anything? He just got to let it ride off. Okay, it is what it is. You take off your pad, you quit on the team. But what I want to say is this. The Cowboys don't really need Odell Beckham. We still got CeeDee Lamb. We still got Schultz. We still got Wilson. We still got Amari Cooper. We got plenty of offensive weapons. We really don't need to take a chance on AB. But I will say this, Jerry, you can get this guy super ass cheap, dirt ass cheap.
Paying for the.
I think I'd bring him in. Hell with it, man. Bring him in, man. Hey, stick him in there because you know what he did with the Buccaneers when they needed him. And I think if he can do the same thing with the Cowboys, even if it's just for a few months, I think he can help get a ring. I really do. I don't care about all the crap that he did. I really could care less. Come in, give us some plays, give us, whatever, and then I'll cut you next year. Just help me. Help me get a ring. It's worth paying you $339. Let me tell you something. $339,000 is to Jerry Jones. That's like $3.37.
That's a value meal at McDonald's.
It's exactly that. So you're not losing anything by bringing him in. I really don't think so. And I think they can fit him in just fine. Yeah. So I said Cowboys take a chance. You did it on Demetrius. Do it on AB.
All right. Last topic of the night here, Jay. Kyrie Irving made his triumphant return last night against the Indiana Pacers. Does this now make the Brooklyn Nets a legit title contender and a title threat? What do you think?
Here's the deal. So we talked about this on ASAP not that long ago, and it's been in all their chat rooms and this, that, and the other. Here's the deal. If the Brooklyn Nets go for first place, then that means they're going to have more home games than they have away games. And as we all know, Kyrie Irving can only play on the away games. So if you're going up against Milwaukee, or if you're going up against, the likes of who else is out there, Milwaukee or whatever,
Chicago, and
thank you. I don't know why it was escaping my brain. If you're going up against Milwaukee or Chicago, then you don't have Kyrie for that. You only got your two guys in Durant and Harden, and you got to pray to God to stay healthy throughout the duration of it. So I don't think Kyrie Irving really helps them a whole hell of a lot, unless. And I hate to say this, unless they tank it and go down to about the 6th spot, and in which then they'll have more away games and they do home games. Now, Kyrie Irving could come and be effective and play in those games. And then, of course, so they're going to have to lose games, get to the 6th spot, go to the playoffs in order for Kyrie Irving to be effective. If they go to the number 1, number 2 spot or whatever, where they got more home games than they do away games, then now you're eliminating Kyrie Irving from the equation, and now he's not effective. So I think that should really tell you where Kyrie Irving fits in this situation.
Yeah. Just kind of go back to the Antonio Perks. We got a comment here about it before I give my piece on this. He's saying, but if those text messages are legit, and I'm pretty sure they are, literally, that was just a straight screenshot. Don't y'all think Goodell should step in and say something to protect his player from this crap?
I don't think it's a Goodell issue. I think it's an NFL Players Association.
It's the Players Association and Bruce Arians, I think.
Yes, it's going to be a Players Association.
Because it's not like they're going around, accusing each other of all this stuff. It's nothing too insane, right?
Right.
I do think that we might get some more about this in a little bit, but I don't think it – I'm with Jay. I don't think it quite warrants Commissioner Goodell stepping in because, I'm pretty sure he did say something about the Washington Stadium falling apart, right? The rail falling. I'm sure he said something about that. But honestly, I think
right now Roger Goodell knows more between the union and the employer, and the employer is the Bucks. And so it's between the Bucks and the NFL Players Association in terms of what they do.
They're going to keep it an internal issue between those two, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Unless Brown or unless the Buccaneers or whoever, unless something else big comes out, I think it'll just between those two parties. But going back to the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie Irving, I mean, Jay, I've told you on the show that if Kyrie's looking to play in half the games, first off, cut his paycheck in half.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not paying this guy. Let me look exactly before I just say I want to be correct.
Aren't they doing that, Logan? Aren't they basically not paying him for the games that he's not in and only paying him for the games that he is? Didn't they already come out and say that?
If they're doing that, good on them. Good. If they're doing that, then I applaud them for doing that because he's only giving, I'm not going to say half effort, but he's only playing half your games, maybe. So he signed a, let me see here, 4-year, $136 million contract. So, ouch. And I mean, all signs say he ain't going to get vaccinated. He's not going to get the vaccine.
And it doesn't make no sense to me, but yeah, exactly.
So let me see here.
But you know what, though? But Kyrie Irving has never been a franchise guy. He's never been a franchise loyalist. He's always been out for himself. He plays for himself. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I think, Kyrie Irving isn't going to make the impact on the Nets that what people are thinking he's going to make. I think he's more, he helps you if you're playing more away games, granted.
Mm-hmm.
But that means you got to lose games for him to be effective.
Yeah. It's a really weird scenario that a guy who is, I mean, you can probably say comfortably a top 25 player in this league, right? Comfortably, just throwing out there. And he's only going to play in half your games because when the playoffs do roll around, and obviously the Brooklyn Nets are going to be a playoff team, you better hope they don't get home court advantage because you're going to miss out on one of your players who's going to be a healthy scratch each and every game. So I don't think they're going to take it. I mean, with the talent they got, I don't think they can. I know they're not going to. It's an interesting theory though, but I think with Harden and Durant and Kyrie when he plays, I mean, we've talked about this just off air on other shows, Jay. What if they get to a game 7 at home in Brooklyn? Huh? You're down a guy. You're down a top player. And I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, but I don't know what you would do in that scenario. I really don't. But, man, it's just crazy to me that a guy with this much talent is only going to be playing in, I say half, right? I say half. But in last quarter of the season pretty much because we're almost at the trade deadline in February. So it's hard to believe, but I'm happy to see him back on the court. Obviously, he's a great player. But I still think it does make him a legit title threat. But I'm just curious, though. If it goes to a Game 7 at home in Brooklyn, what are the Nets going to do? What are they going to do? But I think that is the last topic for tonight. Oh, no, because we have one more. Doing the NFL 2022 projected salary cap here. I'm going to knock those out. Hopefully, Jay can join me back here in a minute. Gotta love internet, technical difficulties, weather outside. Who knows what it is. But let's look at the NFL projected salary cap for 2022. I'll make this a little bit bigger for everyone to see here. All right, so the team with the most salary cap is the Miami Dolphins with over $75 million. We talked about it earlier, man. They can get some good players. They can get another big receiver, potentially beef up their defense, their O-line, their D-line. So they've got a lot of money to play with. The Chargers right behind them. And, I mean, that's the thing. Both of those teams, the Chargers and the Dolphins, are teams who are close to the playoffs, could potentially be in the playoffs. So they're right where you want to be, and they got some money to play with. The Jaguars, third. I mean, they're rebuilding, but they got a lot of money. The football team, kind of same thing. They were good last year. Didn't do a whole lot this year. The Bengals, the Colts. I see the Raiders kind of in the middle of the pack there with $40 million. So I got a little bit of money to play with. I see Frankie's Patriots with $31 million to play with. Let's see what's going on. Oh, here he is. Here he is. What's going on, Jay? Nice to see you back.
Hey, I had to go to my alternate means, man. My computer died on me, so I apologize.
Understandable. We're talking about the salary cap now. I just mentioned how the Dolphins got all that money. Frankie's Patriots got some money. The Raiders got some money, and the Cowboys. I'm trying to look for them here. Cowboys at the bottom of the list. They're under. They spent too much. They're $11 million in debt.
Yeah, the Cowboys are hurting, and so are the Green Bay Packers, and the Saints are really hurting. They're about $60 million. So that tells you exactly where the Saints could go from here. They really got to hope that Jameis Winston is their future because they can't afford to bring in anybody or even really bring in too much during the draft.
Yeah,
and that goes also for the Minnesota Vikings as well as the New York Giants.
The Saints are going to have to do something because they're a fringe team right now. They're currently at 500. They have a chance to get into the playoffs. But looking into the future of the crystal ball, I mean, they're only going to get older. They don't have, one guy who is like a young rookie who's really taking the world by storm, right? I mean, they got Cam Jordan. They got Michael Thomas, who hasn't played in what felt like forever. So, I mean, they got some talent, but they're getting older year by year. You're paying them all this money. And if you're the Saints, man, I would start trading some pieces away. I know you might have to go into a rebuild mode. It sucks. But, I mean, my God, you're $80 million in debt. All you can do is draft at this point. Draft and trade. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and that's exactly correct. I agree with you. It's going to be rough on a lot of teams. I think the best teams, though, are Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, with the most,
in terms of where they are on the record and in terms of where they are in their cap space. That's why I was telling you earlier in the show. I think the Miami Dolphins are looking the best in terms of their cap space, in terms of where they are. Even though they're not in the playoffs, they're going to be there next year just based on their cap space and who they can bring in via free agency.
Yeah, you got a good point there. But I think that is the last topic here. Yes, it is. All right. Do the Fantasy League update. We'll do it again on Saturday before the big game on Sunday. But that is our last topic for today on this Thursday night episode of Unscripted here live on Facebook at Unscripted, on the All Sports All Plays Network here on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks to those guys for all the love and support. Thank you for all the comments tonight. It's been absolutely fun chatting up with Damian Hernandez, Ben Suttereth. It's been in Dustin Reese earlier in the show. It's been a great time. For my co-host, Jay McLovin and Frankie C, I've been your host, Logan Landers. Guy, have a great night, and we'll be back on Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We will see you then.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.